Every day, the likelihood that the global debt will be the catalyst for the XRP takeover of the global economy increases. This is a situation that is getting more and more likely. And for those of you who have been a part of the XRP army for a considerable amount of time, that may seem like something that is completely out of your mind, or it may sound like something that is made up. On the other hand, whenever you begin to comprehend the problems that a great number of huge banks and other businesses are experiencing at the contemporary moment, it is beginning to make a great deal more sense as to why circumstances like these are getting more and more likely to occur. And by that, I mean it is already beginning to take place to a certain extent. In case you are unaware of it, what we are witnessing right now with BlackRock and the Bitcoin exchange-traded funds ETFs, and more recently with Grayscale and their XRP exchange-traded fund ETP that they have announced, is that they are taking advantage of investors in order to save themselves. In addition, we are going to go into a great deal of information regarding this dynamic in the video that we are going to show you today, and it is going to be really educational for you. So if you may, please click the like button so that everyone can see this, and then we can begin watching the video. In other words, the prices of assets appear to increase each time they carry out this action. If you take a look at the balance sheet of the central bank and divide all of the assets by it, you will notice that the denominator is changing, which is why they do not actually increase. In most cases, it is dollars from the United States of America, but when you utilize the balance sheet, you say, okay, this is the purchasing power of dollars. When you consider the amount of dollars that are currently in circulation or that have been created in excess, you see that the SP 500 has not moved at all. There are only two assets that have truly outpaced real estate gold, and those are cryptocurrency and technology. This occurred after the Federal Reserve began monetizing or lowering the value of the denominator. Real estate gold remains relatively unchanged. For the government to be able to pay its interest, the economy must grow at a rate of 2%. However, the question is how the government can use this growth to pay its interest. To put it simply, it is due to the fact that they are simply collecting additional taxes. Absolutely correct. In order to meet the interest payments, there is a certain degree of economic growth that must be achieved. However, if the interest payments of everyone are excessively high, the solution is to first and foremost have the rate of interest should be as low as possible, which is why the Japanese have a natural rate of interest that is significantly lower than that of everyone else. This is due to the fact that their debt is equivalent to 260% of their GDP, but their enterprises have been less in debt. Therefore, they have ensnared themselves. Due to the extent of their debt, they are unable to allow the interest rate to increase. No one is able to. As a result of this, we are going to experience a recession. The tariffs are going to be reduced all the way back to zero. There is no way to get work done. Now, here's the thing, once all of these governments reach 100%, you either blow up the private sector or you blow up the private sector. Government, corporations, and the banking sector are all examples of sectors. It is up to you. I don't know how to explain this to you, mainly due to the fact that the rate of development of the GDP continues to decrease. There is not enough money to service that amount of debt. Therefore, the activity of the economy is what pays the interest. If you do not have a job, you will not be able to make payments on your credit card or at your mortgage, right? A fact. And if the amount of your debt continues to increase, you will need to continue to increase your salary in order to pay off your debts. The GDP is the side of the equation that we are in. However, what we are discovering is that as of 3.5 years later, the balance sheet has all of the debt that is greater than the gross domestic product at the level of the government. And they, along with me, did the maths on this, and I believe that I was the first one to truly find out, and I don't believe that anyone else has really figured this out yet. After going and taking a look at this, I came to the conclusion that the ones who were making money off of it were the interest payments that were being made on the debt 3.5 years later. So why has it been 3.5 years? All interest rates were lowered to zero in the year 2008. Every single government and every single individual self-refinance is at zero. Furthermore, the majority of the debt that is held by all governments is of the 3 to 5 year duration. Therefore, an amount of time ranging from 3 to 5 years, 3.5 to 4 years. In addition, whenever you pay off the debt, you have to bring the interest rates back down again, and you end up having a recession as a result of this. Due to the fact that they are delaying the need to pay for a period of 3 to 5 years, you are likely to experience this highly cyclical phenomenon. Debt is never repaid by anyone. To no one, in any part of the world, nobody's paying back any debt. Consequently, what they are doing is that whenever it comes time to pay up the subsequent amount of debt, it is added to the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve Bank. These days, it is truly occurring as a result of a slowdown in the economy that is being driven by the debt. Nevertheless, this is the outcome. Additionally, there is a slight variation in the size of the two. The United States of America, the United Kingdom, the European Union, and Japan are all the same in this regard. Moreover, the disparity between the balance sheets is a little bit more significant. The difference lies in the fact that whenever there is a direct financial crisis, they are required to inject direct money into the situation. Therefore, we have already witnessed a small amount of that in the United States. In this context, Raoul is essentially arguing that when the government has accumulated such a large amount of debt, that it is no longer able to serve it, it will bail itself out in one of two ways. You should realize that there is always a time in certain economies, such as Japan, where the ratio of debt to GDP is so out of whack that it is considered to be unsustainable. If Japan continues to have any amount of interest rate, which is what we are seeing right now, the country will actually be unable to afford to pay off its debt on time. This is something that they just do not have the financial means to do, and even if they were to decide to hike their interest rates, it would absolutely bring everything to a halt. In other words, this occurred very recently with Japan when they hiked their interest rates by 25 basis points and they experienced one of the most severe financial crises they have ever seen in their whole history. The United States of America is also beginning to experience similar phenomenon due to the enormous amount of debt that they are currently carrying. The situation is coming to the stage in the United States of America right now where it is getting to that point as well, where it is not going to be good if they continue to raise the rates in the same capacity that they are doing right now. Now, obviously, as a result of this, Jerome Powell is going to be decreasing rates because he is aware that if he does not do it, it is going to be a catastrophe for the economy. And what outcome can we expect from this? To be honest, the response is not that complicated at all. The resumption of quantitative easing is going to be expected due to the fact that taxes and interest rates are going to be the primary factors. Unfortunately, economic repercussions is not a choice at this time yet. Here is the point, and this is the question that each and every one of us needs to ask ourselves. Do we really want to go along with the government's deception that they are playing on us? Is it truly in our best interest to do so? I mean, they print money whenever they want to. They overspend the money that they do print, and then they generate tremendous levels of inflation. They price you out of markets, and they make it easier for extremely rich people to charge higher prices for their services, such as online retailers like Amazon or Walmart. You name it, and then all of these enormous hedge funds that are profiting from all of this started purchasing all of this real estate, which means that you are unable to even afford to buy a home for yourself. Is that anything that you consider to be fair? To my mind, it doesn't make any sense at all. As a result, I believe that the existence of cryptocurrency is due to this reason. And Raoul Pal is going to talk about everything that I just mentioned, and he is going to go into more detail about it. I know that you guys need to hear this right now, because to tell you the truth, nobody is talking about this topic enough right now. However, there is one item that I would like to present to each and every one of you. You can get a head start on the competition by establishing an account on Margix through MyLink, beginning the process of acquiring some cryptocurrencies, beginning the process of opening up some futures positions, and choosing whether to purchase or sell futures contracts. Well, at this moment, I believe that it is an excellent time to short particular assets because we are going to most likely witness an economic fallout very soon, which is something that we are going to be discussing at this meeting. On the other hand, here's the thing: if you are trading with MyLink, you will have access to this enormous trading competition, and there will be a substantial amount of money up for grabs. It is a win-win situation. I'll log in with MyLink and continue trading cryptocurrency as you normally would. First, we are going to talk more about what is going on in this video, and then we are going to get involved in this financial system, which we are aware is much better for us. Therefore, pay attention to what Raoul Pal is about to say in this moment. It appears